Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Hope you're all having a good Sunday. Reflection time on yesterday's game. Even though we lost and the points, we didn't get anything from the game. The one thing we did get is an injury, and a big injury at that. And that injury was to Jarrod Bowen. So I thought I'd do a video today to talk about how Benrahma was going to silence his haters, because he's got a lot of haters. A lot of people dislike Benrahma for some strange reason. Now, for me, I've always backed Benrahma from minute one. I've always said I think he's a talent. I think he's a player who can do some damage in the final third. But he just needs a bit of love. And the fan base seems to just cripple this geezer every single time he does something wrong. If he has a shot, he's wrong. If he does a misplaced pass, he's wrong. If he makes a wrong run, he's wrong. He's wrong about everything. And so proved it to me last night. And listen, I've got nothing against Pablo Fornals or Manuel Lanzini, but they both missed glorious chances. And then the fan base are on Benrahma last night. And it was amazing to see. And I'm looking at people's opinions saying, oh, what did Benrahma do? Benrahma didn't have two golden chances. Because I know for a fact, if Benrahma's in that position, he buries them chances. I think it's not right. I really don't think it's right the way some of the fan base treat Benrahma. And I do think it's quite sinister. I don't think this is more to do with football. I think it's more to do with something else that I will not mention on stream, but that's my own personal opinion. But for me, Saeed hasn't really done anything wrong to justify the abuse he's getting. Listen, at the end of the day, he's a championship player. He's come from the championship. The first season, he scored one goal and got 6 assists in his first season, and he was in and out of the team. This season, he's got 8 goals, 4 assists. So my question is to the people who are in the chat, what do you want from Saeed Benrahma? Like, what is it that you're after? Are you after him to score you 15 goals a season? Because he ain't going to do it. I'll say it right now, he ain't going to do it. Are you after him to get you 15 assists in a season? He might do that. You need a proper striker up front who knows where the back of the net is. So I don't understand where the hatred, and it is hatred, for Saeed Benrahma has come from. I really don't. I look at Saeed, and yeah, sometimes he can be a frustrating figure, but every time he's on the ball, I sense something could happen in his presence. I don't sense that with other players like Vlasic and other players like that. And people look at Vlasic and say, give him time. You've got to give him the same time as Benrahma. But there is a major difference here with Saeed Benrahma and Nikola Vlasic. Nikola Vlasic is a Champions League footballer. We signed him from a Champions League club in CSKA Moscow. Right? He also represents his country at the highest level. Do you know what I mean? In Croatia. Benrahma is a championship player who plays a bit part for Algeria. So there is levels here. There's levels. But the fan base and certain parts of the fan base criticise Benrahma because it's an easy scapegoat. We've done it with Sebastian Haller. Now, even with Haller, yeah, if you didn't like him or you liked him, like, it was always the same thing. And the same thing is happening again with Saeed Benrahma. Now, I look at this with Saeed and I think this kid needs confidence. But has David Moyes really given him any confidence? Really? The answer to that is no. He hasn't reassured him. He's done none of the above. Right? He's done like nothing to go, you know what, you're my man. Like, this is the way I want to play. If anything, hooking the man off every sort of 70th minute isn't good enough. Do you know what I mean? And listen, he's been subbed 18 times, I believe. Yeah, and that was what I see the other week against Newcastle. And for me, that is totally unacceptable. I'm sorry, but there's been other worse players than him. I remember a game, because one thing with me, I've got a great memory. Yeah, I remember a game this season, Southampton at home. Antonio scored just after the break, and Saeed scored to make it 2-2. And he goes and hooks him off on the 70th minute, I think it was. And in the 83rd minute or 80th minute, they scored. And it happened against Brighton and all. And I'll never forget this. Someone said it about Benrahma, and they were slagging Benrahma off against Brighton when we conceded a goal to Neil Maupay. this season, and someone was slagging off Benrahma. And I said, Benrahma wasn't even on the pitch. He wasn't even on the pitch, right? And they were slating him, yeah, for conceding that goal. So this is why I thought I'd do this video. I believe there is something very much sinister when it comes to Saeed Benrahma and the hatred for him, right? It's not about his football ability, because he's a technically gifted footballer, right? I've seen people saying, "Oh, I remember players like Al Berkovic and Yossi Benayoun." Yeah, granted, right? I've seen them players and all, but I'm not saying I won't compare him to them. He's a good player. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a masterclass, but don't expect that he's going to turn into one of them players. His name is Saeed Benrahma. His name's not Al Berkovic or Yossi Benayoun. Do you know what I mean? Or the other one that I will mention is Dimitri Payet. Everyone seems to compare him to. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't. Like, I will be the first one to say Benrahma doesn't even lace Payet's boots up, because you know what I'm saying. But there is definitely something more to this when every one of the fan base seems to go, and it is quite a high percentage of the fan base, but it's about 70% of the fan base. I do see people defending him, right? And I really do. I see people on there saying, like, why are you criticising him last night when Lanzini misses a chance? And Antonio has a chance to square it to Benrahma and does nothing. Fornells has a 3.5 second window to put the ball away against Alisson and does nothing. But it just seems like to me that Saeed is the one who's always sort of dug into. And if he would have missed them chances last night, we all know he would have been hung up on the nearest lamppost. There's no two ways about it. And this is his time now. And I can't wait. I really can't. Because when he does, and I do believe in this kid, I think this kid's like, I'm not saying he's a second coming, like some people do think. Then other people think other things about managers and things, which is deluded. But one thing I will say is he will be an influence going forward. Like, if you give him the confidence, he will make chances. Now, I say that quite clearly. He will make the chances for Antonio. It's down to Antonio to put them away. Now, Antonio scored the other day. He's back on form. Hopefully, this continues. But will it? Will remain to be seen. Now, obviously, the injury to Bowen is a massive blow. It is a massive blow. We've got a player there who's been on red hot form. But Bowen at the start of the season was inconsistent. He was getting the chances, but he put them wide over the bar. I'll never forget a game against Rapid Vienna this season where he cut inside, had a great effort, and he just spoons it over the bar. I'm like, you've got to be taking them chances. But one thing I will say is that since then, he has gone on leaps and bounds, Bowen. But now he's out. And now we can't rely on Jarrod Bowen no more. Right, we have to bring other people in. So my fault is on this, that we need to show Benrahma a bit of encouragement, a bit of love, really. Do you know what I'm saying? And not expect him to be the masterclass. Do you know what I mean? If he doesn't perform, yeah, in a certain amount of games now, then I could hold my hands up and say I'm wrong. But I don't believe he's been that bad. I really don't. Southampton, maybe. Yeah, he didn't do a lot. But there's been games this year, then in some games that he's done stuff and people have criticised him for it. He's even scored a goal this season and people have gone to him, oh, but he's still rubbish. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand it. I really don't. When I look at other players, I do look at Vlasic. Now, someone put in my comment section there, he will probably pick Vlasic over Benrahma. That will probably tell me all I need to know. Do you know what I mean? Moyes is a very stubborn man, I'm afraid, and his stubbornness is the reason why we're out of the FA Cup, in my opinion. Like, he just doesn't. He tries to do square pegs in round holes. He doesn't. He hasn't signed no players. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to this conversation. But going back to Benrahma, like last night, when you're seeing things on Twitter, especially Twitter, and people are turning around and saying about Benrahma, saying, "Oh, he doesn't track back. He doesn't do this. Doesn't do that." And sometimes I don't even watch the game. I just watch him. I'm watching him and what he's doing sometimes, right? If the game's a bit boring, I'm seeing what he's up to. He does press. He does. Like, he presses from the front. He doesn't. His tackling's a bit poor. He's a bit light in the tackle. I'll give him that. But I will say one thing: he does get stuck in. Like, he does try and get stuck in. He's not a Pablo Fornells type player. Like, But then Pablo Fornals doesn't create a lot. He passes the ball well, Fornals, but he doesn't create them clear-cut chances. And he doesn't take them clear-cut chances like last night proved. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Where do we go now? Now there's no Bowen. Now, for me, the only way is Vlasic and Benrahma together, right? I think we have to basically go for it now. Like, we have to attack teams from the front. None of this sitting on the bench and having one on, one off. Like, Dave's really put us in this situation at present. So it is what it is. And like, now is the time to go, right, I want to see the pair of them together. And then you will know, right? You will know deep down if Vlasic has been a flop this season. For me, so far, I've seen nothing of any note in regards to Vlasic. I haven't. I'm sorry. I can't. I will say that quite openly. What does he really do? Not a lot, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? He's got good energy. I'll give him that. And he puts the odd cross in, which is pretty decent. But other than that, he don't create any chances. He scored one goal, which has been a tap in. He's played games this season against lower ranked opposition in like Rapid Vienna, Genk, and Zagreb. And he played in them games. Didn't do nothing. Now, when people go about minutes compared to Benrahma last season, last season Benrahma played in the Premier League and domestic cups only, right? Vlasic has played in the Premier League, in the Europa League, League Cup, and FA Cup, and he still hasn't done a lot, in my opinion. Now, I have not got. People could say to me, James, you've got a bit of a hate towards Vlasic. Not at all. But when you are signing a player who's of a Champions League ability, you expect him to come in and own that place. Really, let's be honest. So I expect him to come in and go, right, that number 10 role is his. But he hasn't. And Manny Lanzini, fair play to him, because last season people wanted him out, has owned it. He's owned that spot quite comfortably, really. And he deserves it and all. I will say that Lanzini deserves to be in that position. Yeah. So it's like, for instance, it's like us buying Zuma and still playing Issa Diop. Yeah, Issa in there with Dawson. You wouldn't do it. So Vlasic, to me, will have games now, along with Benrahma. Now, and we will see. We will see what will happen. What I think will happen, before I get to the chat, is I feel that this is going to be a make or break now for the pair of them. So I think Vlasic has massively been a letdown. Right, and Benrahma, if someone wants to go on stats, he's had a better season than he had last season. He scored more goals. He's assisted more goals. He's been a bit of a influence in the final third. So you've got to weigh it up. And for me, I feel that Benrahma so far has been all right this season. It hasn't been wonderful. It hasn't been top class or world class. I'm not that fucking deluded. Yeah. But he hasn't been shy. I'm sorry, but I won't have that one. Because in games this season where we've played well, Newcastle, first game of the season, he was decent. Other games, he was decent. And for me, like, I just feel the fan base are on this kid for some reason. Now, is it because it's something more sinister? Now, I think it could be. Because I don't think this is about his football ability. I just think people just don't like him because he's him. Like, I remember last season, in regards to Saeed Benrahma, and people were saying about him and Ramadan. Right? And he had a great game against Burnley away on Ramadan. And he, for me, I thought he was very, very good. He assisted the goal for Antonio. But he does one thing wrong, and David Moyes is all over him. Now, how many times has Antonio done something wrong? How many times has other players done wrong? How many missed chances did Bowen miss before he started to score goals? Now, that's no disrespect to Bowen, because I think Bowen's been great. But he did used to miss a lot of chances, Jarrod Bowen, a hell of a lot of chances. So I just hope that Benrahma can get on get a goal sooner rather than later. When he does, hopefully that'll be like a train coming, and he will get goal after goal after goal. Because This man is a confidence player, and we don't give him no confidence from the manager to the fans. The fans really, like, from some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, they completely despise this kid, which is unbelievable. Which is unbelievable. Like, he's not a bad geezer. Do you know what I mean? He's not a bad bloke. He's a trier. He gets, like, you know what I mean? But his confidence is shot to shit, and the fans expect him to turn into, like, prime Pyatt. And this is where the flip-flop flan comes into play. You can slate this kid up for months, yeah, criticise him every given time, but then at the one occasion, you then go, nah, right now he's got to turn up, he's got to perform. No, I'm sorry, but don't treat him like a mug, and then expect him to turn up for you. Do you know what I'm saying? Start showing him a bit of respect. It would be a start. So yeah. So my thoughts on this is, with Benny, he has to shape up. He has to shape up now, for me personally. Now, this is coming from me. I like Benrahma. I think Benrahma was a talented footballer, as I've always said on this channel. But I've also said that he's got to, I want him to shut these people up. And nothing will give me greater pleasure to shut the noises of a few people up. Do you know what I mean? And when he does, I'll be smiling. I will. I'll be smiling on here. I'll be doing it. Trust me on that. Anyway, I'll get to your chat. It wouldn't surprise me if Moyes picks Vlasic ahead of him. I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. It all will go down to whether David Moyes is a stubborn man, which he is, and whether he's going to let this stubbornness carry on. Now, if Bowen is out, Benrahma's the replacement. I'm sorry, but he is. He's done better than Vlasic this season. Vlasic has played games. Vlasic hasn't done a lot. He's got energy. He's done nothing else. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It has to be Benrahma. I cannot believe we didn't score them goals. We literally could have won that game. It's so frustrating. It most certainly is, mate. It most certainly is. James, I said if Benny missed them chances, Moyes would have subbed him. Totally agree. Totally agree. And do you know what? Last night, and I'm not one to sort of go in on players, yeah, unless they are absolutely doing nothing, yeah. But Issa Diop gets it. Right, he's another one who gets it, and rightfully so. Sometimes Issa makes stupid errors and mistakes. Benny gets it, right? Mikel Antonio will get it, yeah, from time to time. He will get criticism, and I will hold my hands up openly and say I criticise him, yeah. But some players don't get criticised, like your Thomas Součeks, really, like your Fornells. Like yesterday, Fornells had a golden chance against Alisson to make it 1-1. And if that would have been Benrahma, I agree with that comment. He would have been sub, mate. There's no way they would have kept him on the pitch. Not a chance. And he would have been hooked for that, which I find that is favouritism there. And I've done a video on it the other week. I do feel Moyes is got his favourites, and Benrahma's the side man. Like, do you know what I mean? He's the black sheep in the family, so to speak. So, let's have a look. What else we got? I like to see Benny take on players, but I don't think Moyes has only his tactics. Yeah, I wish he would take on players. I really do. Moyes could do no wrong with some of our fan base. Totally agree, mate. Totally, utterly agree. Moyes could literally walk on water, and they'd say like, "Nah, like he's done that." Do you know what I mean? But like a magic trick or something. For me, David Moyes is the reason why Saeed Benrahma isn't performing to his potential also. And there is no two ways about it. You're trying to make a man into a player he really isn't. And really, you haven't given him any sort of support at all. So, I don't know. Like, I look at it crazily, really, and go, for me, it's just not on. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Hold on. Right, I'm back in the room. And yeah, so for me, when I look at him and I look at with Moyes, yeah, he's done good things, but at the end of the day, he hasn't handled Saeed Benrahma very good, though. I've got to admit, in my opinion. Benrahma has to take his opportunity to really make a statement. If Bowen is injured, he needs the backing from Moyes and has to play 90 minutes. Now, let me ask this question to the 20 in my chat today. What is it that you expect from him now, moving forward? Now he's going to play. What is it that you want him to do to make you happy? Right? Do you want him to score you 10 goals, right, from now to the end of the season? Do you what is it that the fan base want? Because it'd be interesting to know what they want. Because he does make the runs. Like I see something on Twitter earlier on, and Dan Lawless, top man, West Ham fan TV, yeah, and West Ham Online were having like a bit of a debate, and I see what Dan Lawless put up, and he's bang on the money of what he's saying. Like Saeed's there, he's waiting for the pass, and Antonio don't find him. And there's a few times this season where Benrahma's been on the edge of the box waiting for the pass, the cutback, and either Bowen's gone near post, Antonio's gone near post, or gone for a shot. Every single time. So yeah, what we've got here. Luke's in the house, all right, Lukey. I don't know what is going on with Benny. The whats and whys are for debate, but isn't playing well. A confidence player needs goals. He needs a goal, in my opinion. I agree, Luke, but he also needs a bit of confidence from the manager. As a team, we don't create as much open play. Yeah, we've got here. Let's just go skip down to the bottom here. Let's have a look. I totally agree with you. It's time to prove, and I do believe, mate. Listen, I've seen this man in other chats, and he's defending him. Listen, I'm the most realist West Ham fan because I think if he's shit, I'd say, listen, he is shit. But I don't think he's shit. I think he's been handled absolutely awfully, really. Like subbing this man 18 times this season, when Mikel Antonio has been absolutely diabolical, like really, really bad in games. Souček's been bad in games. Other players have been absolutely woeful in games. But Benrahma, you know that on the 70th minute, he's going. He's going off. So, you know, it's to me, that just says it all. That's like a one-dimensional manager, in my opinion. Totally agree. I think a lot of the fans criticise various players because they want to be part of the conversation, nothing to do with the performance or ability. But the problem is there, Danny, all the way from the US of A, is this man is easily criticised. That's the problem that I have with the situation with Saeed Benrahma, yeah, is that this man is easily criticised all the time. Like, I mean, like he will do one wrong pass and they are on him. Like, do you know what I mean? And then what it is, they will make themselves relevant, these so-called people, yeah, and go, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, just to try and back up their argument. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, for me, it just seems very sinister. Very, very sinister. Like, it just seems like they just do not want this geezer here, full stop. Like, but I just don't understand why. This, from last season to this season, he's had a better season. He's scored more goals this season. He's assisted more goals this season. He's up there. Right, he's 2 more assists, and he's matching last season's assist tally. So, for me, he's having a better season in front of goal. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand it. I really, really don't. I'm not a Benrahma hater, but he's hardly a class player. I agree. I wouldn't say, listen, I think to myself, I think he's a good player, but I think he's got potential. Like, Bowen last season was getting hooked all the time, and people had their doubts with Bowen. But what it is with the West Ham fan base, which I have noticed, is that it just seems like easy target, scapegoat, every single time with players. And it's happened one too many times, really. Like, listen, people can say about Sebastian Haller, yeah? Oh, he's this and that. You don't go and score all them goals in the Champions League if you're crap. And I don't think he's... listen, I've seen worse strikers than Sebastian Haller over West Ham. I've had to deal with Benny McCarthy, Maiga, Mido. Do you know what I mean? I've had to deal with some shit. Like, and it just seems like everyone's got their favourites and no one's... It's not a collective. Do you know what I'm saying? So, he won't be subbed, but hanged. Yeah, I totally agree. I agree on that comment 100,000%. If last night he would have missed that chance in front of goal for Alisson, that 4-0's missed, and the chance Lanzini missed, especially the Lanzini one, the fan base would have wanted to execute him. There's no two ways about it. They would have done. Everyone, and even last night, even how well the team played last night, some of the fan base still had the audacity to criticise Benrahma. And I don't think Benrahma was that bad last night. He come on in a bit of a situation where Bowen had gone off. Do you know what I'm saying? He tried a few things. He got fouled a few times that he should have got fouls for, but he didn't get anything. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't been wonderful, Saeed Benrahma this year, but he hasn't been shockingly shit. I will say that. I'll say he's. If I was rating this season so far, I'd give him a 6 or a 7 for me. If I was rating him, I think coming to the end of the season, if he gets 10 goals or more, or if he gets what's he on 4 assists, if he gets double of what he's on now, he's had a great season in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully he does, and he fights us to Europa League glory. But will he? There's another thing. If Salah played for West Ham, he'd be in the same predicament as Benrahma. Totally agree. Totally agree. For me, I like, as I've always said, West Ham are just too easy to go bang, 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 get him out, get someone else in. What makes me laugh is, and this is really does baffle me, is that we play with a team with like square pegs and round holes. It's always square pegs and round holes. Like Pablo Fornals as your left wing back, right? Because we haven't bought a left back or left wing back. Manny Lanzini, for how good Lanzini's been this season in spells, because he is only in spells, he hasn't been like consistently amazing. When your star signing is sitting on the bench, yeah, and he is the most expensive signing in the summer, Vlasic, and he's not even getting a look in because Lanzini's outperforming him, that to me says it all. It really does. Do you know what I'm saying? So, for me, I agree on that comment, Epic. I really do. Benrahma, I'd just love to know what the fans would want from him. I really do mean that. Thanks a lot, mate. Play his game and think of his future far from Moyes. As I've said before, I said it on my Twitter. My words on Twitter was the way the fan base treats Saeed Benrahma is scandalous. It really, really is. It's disgraceful, some of it. Like this man, you'd think this man was like another Payet, right? But what Payet done was absolutely outrageous. Like, and I don't mean on the pitch, off the pitch, and the way he treated West Ham and like demanded a move to Marseille. You think he was doing all that? He does nothing. He says nothing. He's pretty quiet by the sounds of it, and he's just scapegoated every single week. Fair enough. And people say, yeah, he's a championship player, but he is. I'm not going to lie. He's come from the championship. He's a championship player. Bowen has reached that level, yeah, of being a top player, right? But this is why I don't think Bowen will be sold, or no one will come in for Bowen in the summer. Because I believe that teams will look at Bowen next season and see if he can do it again. Because if you go back to the start of the season, he was missing chance after chance. And I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the Chelsea game where he sort of sprung into life and went, right, what a goal that was. Right. And that's when Jarrod Bowen sort of started to sort of come into his own. He was nicking goals in the Europa League, but for me, he was excellent. And right, he's missed chances. God, my nose is running. Hold on. So he was excellent. He was excellent in what he was doing, Bowen, and now he's become that sort of star player. That's why I don't believe Bowen will go anywhere this summer. I really don't. I don't believe Liverpool are going to come in for him. I think Liverpool have signed Diaz. I think they stay away. I think next season, if Salah goes, that's when they will make their move for Jarrod Bowen. What we got here? I understand your point, mate. I just believe he won't be our saviour. I'm not denying that he's a decent player. No, listen, I'm not asking him to be our saviour. Listen, we've got Declan Rice, we've got Mikel Antonio, we've got Zuma, we've got Fornals, we've got other players, yeah? But it should be a collective unit. But the problem is, don't scapegoat this man solely and give everyone else a pass. That's the only thing I will say. Because that's just not fair, is it? Like, if a player plays bad, criticise them. You're entitled to criticise them as a fan, yeah? Like, as a fan and supporter of this club, yeah, you are allowed to say exactly how you feel towards players, yeah? But last night proved something to me, yeah, that Fornells and Lanzini missed golden chances. I mean, they are like match-saving chances. We could have won the match last night. They buried them 2 chances, right? Not a word mentioned. Not any criticism. Not saying, you know what, that was shocking. You've got people defending them and saying, well, you know what, there's an hard chance against Alisson, and the other one, oh, he's just off balance. But Benrahma will do one thing wrong. I mean, one pass will go astray or something, and the fan base is like right on him. Not really fair, mate, is it? Really. I love Benny, but watching him live lately, he has stopped running at times. You know what Moyes says about running? He needs to get his head down and prove Moyes wrong. I really do hope he does, Gary. I really, really do, mate. I really hope he gets down and what he needs is a goal. That's what he needs. What Benrahma needs is to score a goal, and hopefully that'll set him off. Hopefully that'll set him off like it set Bowen off, right? The problem is that will Moyes support him in that role? Now, the answer to that is I don't think he does. I don't think Moyes has gotten over the public dispute at Newcastle at home when Benrahma come off. But let's be honest, I don't blame Benrahma there. I really don't. Like 18 times sub this season. It's not really like that's an agenda in itself, isn't it? Let's be honest. Haller would have took one of them chances yesterday, I agree. Haller didn't want to be at West Ham. Goodbye and good luck. Yeah, I also agree on that. My nose can't stop running. Sorry about this, people. My nose can't stop running. I must have a cold. I'm confident that Benny will continue to improve. Whether he will be in the starting 11 next season or an impact sub remains to be seen. Either way, I'm happy he's with us. Listen, if Benrahma, say for instance Rafinha arrives at West Ham, then Benrahma has to work to get in that team, because I would have Rafinha in there all day long. I think Rafinha's a top class player. Yeah, but there's a but here. If you're going to criticise one for one thing, you've got to criticise the other. Like, you've got to criticise like 2 players who do the same thing, but only one gets criticised and then the other one gets away with it. It's not exactly on, in my opinion. Looks like Bowen is okay. Apparently only an impact injury. Well, let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. I think there's a lot of fans generally want him to be a succeed. Stats are better than last season. Honestly believe that he will learn so much from Lingard if we get him. Do you know what? That's a great point, Paul, yeah? Last season, when he was with Lingard, and they played that front three of, was that a front 4, really? Like, the best game I see last season was when it was Benrahma, Lingard, Bowen and Antonio against Arsenal at home. That was the best game I've seen with West Ham for a long, long time. I mean, against a top side. And listen, you can say about Arsenal, people say, oh, Arsenal ain't all that, and this, that, and the other. Arsenal are a decent outfit, right? They're a good side. And last season, in that first 30 minutes against Arsenal at the LS, we destroyed Arsenal. We ripped them apart. Benny, Lingard, Bowen. And that's what we lack. We lack pace up top. For how good Fornells is on the ball and around the ball, he's not fast. And Bowen is the only real ball carrier. Do you know what I mean? Benrahma doesn't run at people anymore. I will agree on that. But has he been coached into doing that? To me, I think he has. I think he's been massively coached into saying, right, you can't run at players. Because last season to now, like night and day for me. I know he scored more goals this season and got 4 assists, but last season I thought he ran at people. He terrified defences. I think defenders know how to deal with him there. Because what he does is he'll run forward and then he would check his run and he'll have to cut inside or go along the 18-yard box, which is, it's not him. It really ain't. Kent Hammers, I hope you're doing well, mate. But he's got all the tools in the box, but his decision-making needs to improve. My only frustration is that if he proves that he's a hell of a player, 10 or 15 goals a season, some with assists. The problem is, though, Ken, right, 10 or 15 goals a season, but he's not a striker. Like, he's not a striker. He's not a player who's going to, like, Antonio hasn't got over 10 goals. Like, he's a centre forward. I think he's only got over 10 goals once, I think, Antonio. Like, if someone could tell me in the chat how many goals Antonio's got in a season, And we're expecting Saïd Benrahma to get that and more. It just makes no it just makes no sense to me. I've always said this. I've said it from minute one. If we had a better striker in our ranks, like a Jonathan David, Benny would be a phenomenally good player. Phenomenally good. I think Mickey, for how good Mikel is, I think he's slowly declining to a point. He has one good game, one bad one. He's very inconsistent. Yeah, he's a beast mode and he does, like, he gets stuck in and barges people and all that. But if you had a choice between Mikel Antonio or someone like a Jonathan David, I know I'd have JD all day long. Do you know what I mean? Luke says Benny may not suit Moyes, which is fine, and sell him or play him. I think he is good enough, but it's pretty obvious that our front line is in need of a massive improvement, new players and better tactics. Well, the tactics ain't going to change, Luke. Let's be honest. The tactics always stay the same in certain games. New players, I agree with, but then we should have had new players in January. But that's a different story, isn't it? Let's be honest. What we got here? Get rid of that. Benny should have saved Manny's goal. Yeah, I agree. Let's look at this one. In my opinion, due to the past criticism, is overthinking things can on the pitch. You can understand the state of mind related to performance at his best. He is a top talent, a game changer. He is a game changer, Trev. He is. I like him. I do. I think he can make stuff happen. And look, listen, when I look at Mikel Antonio, right, and there's no dig at Mikel Antonio before anyone starts jumping down the comment box, right? When Mickey picks the ball up, I don't expect him to do anything amazing. But I don't expect him to get past a few people and then bang one in the bottom corner. Right? I expect that from Bowen. I think Bowen's got that in his locker, and I expect that from Benny. The problem is Jarrod Bowen takes the ball by the horns and sometimes he does it on his own, basically. Yeah, and there's been time, even yesterday, for instance, Jarrod's running through, he's got about 5 defenders, and he plays a poor pass into Antonio. But he's been amazing. Do you know what I mean? So people do bad things in the game. Right? No one is perfect, but sometimes people look at Benny a bit different. I suppose. The problem is the biggest Benny hater seems to be Moyes. I hope I am wrong. Benny is young. He needs love and encouragement, just like the rest of us. Do you know what, mate? That's a brilliant comment, that one. Really, really is. And I don't think he does get any encouragement from Moyes. None whatsoever. He definitely don't get no love from Moyes. I agree with that comment. Totally. I remember a few games last season, for instance, where Benny was playing. Because what it was, I was having many debates on YouTube last season about Benrahma. People think he was a flop, a bit like Vlasic this season. And for me, I was like, well, I thought he was all right last season, Benrahma. He wasn't amazing, but when you've got Jesse Lingard tearing it up, it takes away from what Benny was doing. Do you know what I mean? But there was good games last season where Benny played. And I remember him clear as day. Some of the games he was phenomenally good. Really, really good. And even the Aston Villa away game sticks in my mind where there was a 3-man attack or 4-man attack. Lingard, Bowen, Benny and Antonio. And we won that game quite well, to name a few. But the problem is with Benrahma is that he's never been shown any love from Moyes. Right. You don't see Moyes saying, "Oh, come on, Benny," giving him a bit of a shove. If anything, it's always like there's aggression in Moyes, and a lot of it, towards him every time. And I just think there's something more to it. There really is. West Ham should have won 3-1. I agree. Flashes never loses the ball. He is Mr. Safe. He gets criticism. Do people want Benny to be like that? Great comment. Great comment yet again. Superb. Comment of the night, that is, for me. Vlasic doesn't give the ball away, but he doesn't do anything to influence the game. That's how I feel with him. When Vlasic gets the ball, I think, well, he's going to cross it or he's just going to pass it. Whereas when I look at Benny, I think Benny can, I remember the game in Genk this year, away, where West Ham were behind. And then he scored one goal over there. And then what he done to that defender, he ruined that defender, got past him and banged it in the bottom corner. That is what Benrahma can do. Do you know what I mean? I just think that he's just not got the encouragement. He just don't get it, in my opinion. Luke says, not sure, Vino. Liverpool had loads of near misses too. Trent's free kick had fab 3-3 for me. All right. What we got here? So Vlasic is consistently passing the ball to no one. I consider that losing the ball. Yeah. The problem is with Vlasic is I think it's, for me personally, and I come across to everyone in the chat after I've said what I've had to say. When I look at Vlasic, I think Vlasic was a player that West Ham had signed because they couldn't get Lingard at the time. And they was hoping that he would do the Lingard effect. Yeah. Now, I heard things through people I know that he was out of shape. He was getting climatising back to the Premier League. Obviously, he's played in Russia, slower league. It's a poorer league, so to speak. Yeah. But now we are in March, right? We are just starting beginning of March, and he hasn't shown anything. And listen, I can probably sit here and go, the one good game that Vlasic has had, in my opinion, where I've gone, wow, yeah, I think he was decent in that game and held my hands up, was Leeds in the FA Cup. That was against the Leeds reserve team. That's not me taking the piss. It really ain't. I'm being absolutely as serious as I can be. He done a good pass into Bowen in the League Cup, right, for the goal against Tottenham. But he hasn't really done anything else of any note. Like, I don't remember him doing anything outstanding off the top of my head, and I've got a pretty good memory. Like, so for me, he hasn't really done a lot. Do you know what I mean? And for the price tag and for the expectation of the player, he should be doing a bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? What else we got here? Let's have a look. Liverpool don't play with out-and-out strikers. Many teams don't. It's the modern way. Wide forwards mainly that interchange. The problem is, though, and I see this, Kent, funny you saying Liverpool, yeah? Someone said that on Twitter today, but West Ham are nowhere near Liverpool. West Ham should be aiming for like teams like Villa, who have got strikers. Villa have got loads of strikers. Like Everton have got strikers. Leicester play with centre forwards. You know what I mean? Iniestro's a centre forward. Vardy's a centre forward. West Ham play with a right winger who's blagging it really as a centre forward. Really, when you look at West Ham, yeah, I understand with the winger side of things, but then you've also got to look at it that there are centre forwards out there who could make a difference to West Ham. They really, really could. They could make us project us on to bigger and better things. Now Liverpool are a world-class outfit, like Jota, Salah, Mane, Luis Diaz, who I thought was absolutely first class yesterday for them. I really did. I think he reminded me of Rafinha yesterday. The way he just his trickery was excellent. Now, for me, West Ham should be playing should have at least one or two strikers in the ranks. There's no two ways about it. Just to change it up from time to time. And I understand what Kent's saying about the modern day game, but sometimes we've got to go back to how we play, so to speak, and not trying to advance ourselves beyond our means. Do you know what I mean? What we got here, let's have a look. Mark says, Antonio, Bowen, Lanzini, 4-0 usually start. Benrahma and Vlasic will get their chance. Be ready. Vlasic or Benrahma? That is the $1,000,000 question. For me, if you want a goal, Benny gets you could possibly get you a goal. Vlasic don't get you a goal. Vlasic is the sort of person, if you're in control, if you want to be in control of a game, we're winning the game, bring him on. Because as people are saying in the chat, he don't give the ball away. But he don't make goals, Vlasic. He's not one of these ones who's going to change a game. Like he's a safe merchant, really, as someone put in the chat earlier on. Trev Tube says, we sometimes forget that these are younger blokes. Some need encouragement more than others, and that can be sensitive to criticism. I think Benny needs a supported manager to nurture him. Totally agree, Trev. Totally agree, mate. I really, really do agree on that comment. When I look at Benny, there's just no love there for him whatsoever. And so it doesn't get me out of my chair. I expect him to miss it rather than score. I am a teacher. Young people respond to love and acceptance. Yeah, I agree. What else we got here? Lee says, I enjoy your shows. Thanks, mate. I really do appreciate it. Let's have a look. I think Vlasic has been taught, so he does the strict minimum to avoid critics. I agree on that comment slightly. Yeah, I do. I think what he does, he keeps it safe safe and sound, so no one really comes at him. Whereas people will look at Benrahma and go, right, Benny will try and take someone on and he will try and win the game rather than like pass us to death, basically. Do you know what I mean? But we will see. We will see. Let's have a look. What else we got here? Vlasic needs to find an identity. What does he want to do? Cresswell and Masuaku are more effective than Vlasic. Cresswell is a crossing king, and Masuaku can get past people and carry the ball up the pitch. Yeah, I agree. Now, I'm not a biggest fan of Maz. I really ain't, but I can't not agree with that. Yeah, Diaz was top. I agree. I'll take Benny over Vlasic any day of the week. I agree. It strikes me that Vlasic isn't a wide man. Surely he's a 10, hasn't the pace to be a winger. That is what his natural role is, Luke. He is a 10. And the problem is, you got Manny Lanzini. Now, if you ask the fan base, who would you rather have in there, Manny Lanzini or Vlasic? You have Lanzini, really. And that's where I know that Vlasic is a bit of a flop, in my opinion, because he should be getting ahead of Lanzini. I'm sorry, he should be. Lanzini was at the door of summer, and the only reason why we kept Lanzini is because we got rid of Anderson and we got rid of someone else who I can't remember. And that's the only reason. And he said we're keeping him for another year. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't going to play him, really. But where Lanzini's a quality player, then you move. Happy birthday to Lee, mate. That's all the way from me, mate. All the best, and I hope you're 21 again. You're being generous, saying that is a pass from Vlasic to Bowen versus Spurs. A missed shot, I think. I agree. We did a striker, David or Adebayo, as backup. Yeah, like to me, mate. Listen, Ken, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, but you got some people who will back this man up, Vlasic, to the hill. No, he can't do no wrong. But he hasn't done no fucking right either, has he? Let's be honest here. He hasn't done anything to go, wow, amazing. That's where the money's paid. And people will look at him and go, well, we've got him on 5 years. Yeah, granted. That means we've possibly got another Yarmolenko situation where a geezer who might not do it. But listen, for me, both of them will step up in this coming weeks. Now, will Bowen play on Thursday? I think it's massively too soon to go and risk him against Seville away. Do I think he plays against Villa next Sunday? I don't think so. I think if Bowen is going to return, it will be against Seville at home. I don't think he plays Thursday. I'll be stunned if he turns up. He's playing on Thursday, because someone will go through him, yeah, and could make him even more injured. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to risk him then. So if Benrahma and Vlasic have to play, which it will probably be Fornals, well, yeah, it'll be Vlasic or Benrahma. It won't be both. Now, something's got to change, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And something has to, right? And Moyes has to be more loving for once, rather than this strict, you can't do this, you can't do that sort of thing. Minus the miss by Lanzini yesterday, he was brilliant. Knitted all together. Vlasic has this season to prove himself. Let me ask you this, Ken. I know you're in the chat and you're. I thought Lanzini was okay yesterday, but I think that miss is shocking. I think that is just ultimately shocking. But let me ask you this, Ken. If you was rating Vlasic out of 10, what would you rate him? Because if I was rating Vlasic right now, I will give him a 4 because he hasn't done anything. And I'll go 5 as middle of the road. Now, for me, he's been below average, in my opinion, because at CSKA, he was scoring goals, he was having shots from outside the box, he was making chances. When he has played this year, and he has played in all the games that I know, like Europa League games, League Cup, FA Cup, Prem, he hasn't done anything. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to know what everyone's thoughts are for that. What we got? Here's a look. If Rice and Bowen are out, I might get on the bench. Yeah. What we got? To me, if we down a goal and Lanzini is subbed on, I get the feeling we can put it off. I don't get that yet from Benny or Vlasic, emphasising on the word yet. I slightly disagree on that one, Danny. I will, because when I look at Lanzini, yeah, I would say I agree. He comes on, he can sort of control a game and pass a ball, but Lanzini don't score many goals. Like he doesn't score goals, whereas Benny could score goals. I agree with you that when Benrahma comes on, sometimes he's sort of he's the sort of player who needs to fill into the game. Yeah, but sometimes when he's playing like from the start, and he gets to the 70th minute, I feel he's played all right. I think, you know what, he could, and I feel he's done well enough, but then he gets subbed. But let me ask you this: would you rather Benny on for 90 minutes than Vlasic? Because I know I would rather have on, because I believe that the longer the game goes on, I think Benny gets better going on. I think he comes into it, he works his way into the game, and before you know where you are, he will make chances because he's that sort of player. Floodlight failure, no problem. Moyes says sunshine out of Antonio's arse, so he can use that. Yeah, the Antonio thing, I really don't understand. I really don't. I really like to see these players get a chance to do what they do best before saying that they're awful. But how can you say, Epic, that some of these players haven't been given a chance? Like, for me, Kirk Zuma comes in, owns it straight away. Yeah. And it's like us signing Kirk Zuma and playing Diop and Dawson at the back, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Having Kirk Zuma on the bench. Now, at the end of the day, I agree, right? People shouldn't be criticising players, but you've got a Champions League player there in Vlasic who hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything of any note. He hasn't. I think he's assisted about 4 goals this season. I think 4 or 5 goals. That's about it. So maybe. Bowen aside, all our forwards have been average this season. I agree totally. At this moment, I blame Moyes for everything. I agree on that. I totally agree on that one. Yesterday, I think I'll give him a 6, but his season only a 4 so far. Lanzini for me is still better player than Benny and Vlasic. Yeah, but he's more experienced, isn't he? He's more experienced in the league. Let's be honest. Benrahma's been here what, 18 months, 19 months. Manuel Lanzini's been at West Ham for about 7, 8 years. So, like, there's a bit of a difference there. Do you know what I mean? If Benrahma is here next season, then and he's still doing the same thing, I'd hold my hands up and I'll be the first one to say, you know what, he's not cutting it anymore. It's time to move on. But I just feel sometimes that people are easy just to scapegoat this man. They really, really are. They really are. Have the 4-2 score for them, 3-1 in the other. 4-2, 3-1 says it all. On the side. Gets happy birthday. Flashes should be played in the centre. He's not a wide player. But then that goes back to Moyes, That goes back to Moyes. And listen, we all know that Vlasic is number 10, but he plays left and right. Like the other day, he come on in the FA Cup for Pablo Fornals and played left wing back. Do you know what I mean? That's taking the mick, isn't it? Let's be honest, right? So, but what it is, when you've got Benrahma, Vlasic, Fornals, Lanzini, they're all pretty similar players in their own right. And they all pretty much do the same thing in their own right. So it's an interesting one. It really, really is. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I've been going for just under 55 minutes. Put your comments in the comment section below if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. It's time for Benrahma to shape up, though, for me. Like that. He will. I believe he will do. I believe he will make goals, score goals. And I just think he needs a goal now to break that sort of cycle. Do you know what I'm saying? Once he does, then I think we might start seeing a player again. And I hope when he does do that, he starts getting a bit of support from the fan base. And when he does something wrong, go, you know what, Benny, it's fine. Right? We move on. Right? It's cool. Do you know what I mean? But don't just keep going at him because, do you know what I'm saying? He's a human being at the end of the day. You're kicking him when he's down, which is poor. Final comments. Let me get through it. Man United have equalised. I think Lanzini is the player for Benny to be learning from. He's mature enough and experienced enough. Could be a big influence considering they have a similar style of play. I agree. Kent Lingard is better than all of them, though, James. We don't have any wingers. They're all number 10s. Totally agree with Ken. Couldn't agree with you any more there, mate. They are all 10s. Hi, James. How long is Bowen out for? I'm not too sure, mate. I don't think he plays on Thursday, and that's a big game, Lee, if I'm honest. Great show, James. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, Danny. You take care, mate. All the best. And Shahul, very well done. Thanks. No worries, mate. And that's enough from me. Tonight, 10 o'clock UK time, I'll be doing a player ratings with Mitchell and West Ham Jace from West Ham Fan TV. We'll be talking about Liverpool 1, West Ham 0 tonight, and going for the player ratings, have a good chat about it. So if you're about later on, 10 o'clock UK time, player ratings. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. It goes a long way. It helps me out greatly. And thanks for all the support over the last few weeks in regards of videos and everything. Sorry, Benrahma, time to step up, kid. I'll back you up for minute one. I know you're going to get criticised from time to time, but it's your time to shine now, mate. The time is now. And when you do, I just hope all them people get back in their cave and silence the hate, because it is hate towards him massively. And I won't just leave it with him. It's also time for Vlasic to sort himself out and all, because this man has to take a key role moving forward. If we want to get Europe this year, Vlasic has come in. He's got to help us get there by all means necessary. So Vlasic, Benrahma, it's time to shave up, lads. It really is. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll be back later on tonight. Take care. All the best. Come on, you irons.